Did my daughter ask you for money?
Yeah, she did.
Well, where is it?
I'm not giving it to her.
How dare you! I've seen what you drive, and I know you can afford it.
I don't care what you've seen me drive. I'm not giving your kid a dime.
Then you leave me no choice. I'm going to get her father.
r/entitled parents. Our first story we'll be reading today.
You have to sell it to me for $2, or it's false advertising.
From user Denabler42. After that,
give my child your money. I don't care if they don't know you.
From user Junior85 3rd 11. And after that, entitled kid spits in my face. From user Doodle Ninja 98. And then we'll be finishing up with a Karen tries to make me give her kid singing lessons. From user kittycat uwu. Thank you so much to our authors for letting us read your stories. And if you're an author who would like to hear your stories on the channel, please submit them to the r/Mr. Reddit subreddit. And welcome to the newest members of the Re-Army, Michelle, Shadu, and Dark Jet. And if you're new, join the Re-Army by subscribing for new stories from Reddit every single day.
You have to sell it to me for $2, or it's false advertising.
Hey, for all who remember my first post on this subreddit, I'm back with another. I wish I wasn't, honestly. I hate dealing with entitled parents and all their BS. But apparently it seems to follow me whether I like it or not, so here we are. Very much like the last story, this RC truck was involved. It was a cheap find at a pawn shop, and I'm fixing it up before I decide if I'm keeping it or selling it. This story takes place at my local hobby store while I was buying parts for it. At one point, I had set it down leaning up against the counter while I chatted with the employee, and I set another part on top of it. This, again, was my mistake. As I was chatting with the employee about this little RC truck with a camera in it that she had gotten to mess with her cats, a father and his son wandered into the RC section. They were looking at the different models on the shelves, and from the sound of things, the kid had earned himself some money and was buying himself an RC model. At some point, the kid noticed mine and mistook the price tag on the bagged part for the price of the truck.
Look, Dad, this one's only $2.
Really? That doesn't seem right. Let me see. As the kid picks up my truck, I take notice and walk over. Oh, sorry, that's mine. I left it there because I didn't want to hold it for half an hour while I harassed this poor girl, you know? Gesturing towards the RC employee as I talked, and she laughed. Sorry about that. It's a cool truck, though. Thanks. You know, they have similar models available here. I point to the Traxxas shelf where they have the newer, upgraded version of this truck. I spend a few minutes showing this guy and his kid the various models, and he comments on how expensive the Traxxas ones are, and starts looking at the cheaper, more beginning grade ones. They pick out a nice 1/18th ECX Ruckus, and the dad tells the kid to go ask his mom to make sure she's okay with him buying this. The kid runs off and comes back with a woman who I assume is his mom. She didn't have the stereotypical Karen look, but she had the look in her eyes. Anyone who has actually dealt with the entitled parents or insane people knows the look.
Which one of you works here?
The employee says. That would be me.
My son here tells me that he found a truck for $2, but you wouldn't sell it to him.
No, Mom. I said it belongs to that guy.
He points at me.
Did it have a price tag on it?
By this day, I had been smart enough to take the pawn shop price tag off the hood of the thing. It was a pain in the butt. Well, no, it had this on it. I hold up the bagged part.
Let me see that.
She snatches it out of my hand. Entitled Mom spends a minute studying the tag on the bagged part, almost like if she stared hard enough she could find the secret to the Karen code, an ancient mystery lost to the Guild of Karens for decades.
This says Traxxas, right?
Well, yes, but...
And this truck is a Traxxas, right?
I mean, it is, but...
Then this is the price for the truck.
Well, no, that's not how this works.
Why not? It says Traxxas on the tag.
Employee then gestures to the wall of parts, with probably several thousand parts, all in a similar tagged bags. Entitled Mom gets redder in the face.
This is false advertising. I can sue for this.
The dad then runs over and interjects, likely having dealt with this before. Why don't you go wait in the car? I'll deal with this. Entitled mom takes a minute to compose herself and leaves with one parting shot.
Fine, but you better let them have it.
She leaves, and as soon as she's out the door, the dad turns to both of us. Sorry about her, guys. She does this a lot. We'll take the orange ECX truck for my son, though. As she's grabbing it off the shelf, the kid asks his dad,
Dad, what are you going to tell Mom?
I don't know, buddy. Maybe that there was something wrong with the truck, or that they both got eaten by bears. I've got a couple minutes. I'll figure it out. And with that, they pay and leave. And the employee and I had a good laugh about this insane woman and what her husband probably wove for a tale to keep her happy. Next up, we've got,
Give my child your money. I don't care if they don't know you.
Okay, first things first. I'm on mobile. The grammar is going to be crap. All grammar police, please cease fire. I tried to post this story a while ago and didn't understand the rules of Reddit. So with that being said, let's get into it. First off, I think this story should be included in r/choosing beggars too, but you guys decide. Now, when I got to the neighborhood, my neighbors across the street told me about these jerks down the last block of the street. I just brushed it off and said to myself, I don't have to worry about them. Oh, how wrong I was. Backstory. I just moved into a new neighborhood last summer, and it is my first home. My neighbors are beyond great. They have been in the neighborhood over 15 to 25 years, which means they know everybody and everything that goes on. So after I get to know my neighbors, we get close and welcomed me in with open arms. Now, fast forward until July. We decided to have a big barbecue before the 4th, and we are putting together a list of goodies. In this area, everything is so convenient. We have restaurants, CVS, dollar stores, gas stations, etc. But the general store at the corner of my street was stocked with everything you can imagine. The problem was it was off the alley of the jerks I will get to. After we get the list together for the barbecue, the rest of the items I can get from the general store. I was offered a ride, but I want to enjoy the weather. I regret this later. Now to the cast. We've got the begging kid. We have the entitled mother, the drunk dad, and, well, you know, me. Well, after everything is said and done, I grab the list of the last items and walk to the general store. Again, I get asked, do I need a ride? And I declined since I want to enjoy this nice weather. While I'm walking, I get a call. It's my sister asking me what time she should come and what to bring. Now, I finally get to the alley leading to the store. It's a mixture of a war zone and old school music with over 10 to 12 kids yelling. It was that many kids I counted walking through the alley. Now, ladies and gentlemen, is where the crazy happens.
Hey, old man.
I'm 33, by the way, but I guess I'm old to younger kids.
Hey, old man.
My sister's still on the phone.
Is someone talking to you?
Being sarcastic. I don't think so. Being it was so loud with their music and kids running around, yelling at the top of their lungs, I really couldn't pay attention to anything that was coming from the area.
Hey, old man in the basketball shorts.
What the heck? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you are the only one I'm talking to.
You little jerk. What's up?
Can I have $5 so I can go to the store?
No. Heck no. I don't know you. And plus, why are you asking a stranger for money? The begging kid is a girl. Go ask your parents or whoever's in charge of you.
I don't want to. Are you going to give me the money or nah?
She actually said this word for word. No, I don't know you. So begging kid walks off and my sister is dying laughing on the phone. So I end my call with her, go into the store, pick up everything on my list, and leave. Now, walking back through the alley, I see beggar kid and entitled mom, and I think to myself, here we go with the BS.
Is that him, beggar kid? Yeah, that's him.
I'm thinking to myself, good, she's about to make beggar kid apologize or something. Nope, wrong again.
Did she ask you for some money?
Yeah, and I told her. She cuts me off.
So where is it?
Where is what? I hope you're not talking about the money, because I'm not giving you or her money. At this point, I'm fuming and don't care what I say to them.
You promised my baby money, so give it to her. Plus, I know what you drive. You can afford it.
I drive a 2010 Escalade at the time. I don't care what you see me drive. I'm not giving a random begging kid my money. And you need to teach her not to ask random people, especially men, for money they don't know. At this time, the neighbors that lived around the house, plus people walking into the store and walking out, see the situation go down. Even the owner of the store came out to see what was going on.
So, you're not going to give her the money. I go get her dad then.
She and beggar kid walk off, and I scream, "Go get him then!" So I started walking back to my house, but I turned the other way down the second part of the alley. Here comes drunk dad.
Is that him? Hey, that's him.
Hey, my man, come here. At this time, he's trying to run towards me, but he was so drunk that the more he ran towards me, the more his balance said no, so he kept tripping over his feet. As soon as I started walking back, the police showed up. Someone called the police and told them what was going on. They stopped me, and I tell them everything, and the store owner and neighbors told them what happened. After all of that, they went to the store, looked at the surveillance video, they said I could go. I found out later that their dad was arrested for being drunk and disorderly conduct. Entitled Mom was ticketed for disturbing the peace with the loud music. Beggar Kid was kicked out of the store multiple times for stealing and asking random people for money in and outside of the store, plus her brothers and sisters. After that, I never walked to the store again. I'd rather burn gas for a 2-minute drive than to deal with this crazy stuff again. Next we've got Entitled Kid Spits in My Face. What's up, Reddit? I've been looking around on this sub for a while and finally decided to contribute a post. I don't actually know if this post fits here, but if it doesn't, suggestions are welcome. Also, grammar and punctuation aren't my strongest points, so go ahead and roast me. So this all went down when I was in 8th grade. I'm 20 now. When I was 11, me and my 3 younger siblings, sister and 2 brothers, were put into foster care. I've come to terms with the fact that I was in the system and why I don't feel embarrassed anymore about that part of my life. So when I was going into my 8th grade year in middle, me and my sister, who was 2 at the time, were placed in a different home because our family friend who was caring for us at the time had to move out of the country and could not take us with her. Now, meet Entitled Mom, but for the sake of the story, I'm going to call her Miss C. She was a 40-ish black woman. CPS tried to make it a habit to place kids in a home with the same racial background, who at the time of meeting her was okay. Her 2 daughters lived with her, a 20-year-old who was her biological daughter, nice daughter, and an 8-year-old girl who was adopted as a baby, Entitled Kid. She was a rotten child. At first, everything was fine until a week or so of us being there when I noticed that she treated me and my sister differently. A bad sort of differently. She would make my sister stand in one spot of the living room all day until there were literally footprints of where she stood in the carpet. Every time we went out, she made it a point to tell everyone that Entitled Kid was her child and that me and my sister were the ones that weren't a part of their family. Just a lot of things that would hurt a kid's emotional state she did. I have a ton of stories on her, but I'm just going to focus on this one for now. Even though this happened so long ago, I remember it clearly. It was a Saturday evening, and I was sitting on the floor because Mrs. C wouldn't let me or my sister sit on the couch, watching TV when Entitled Kid came into the living room. She sat down on the couch and proceeded to munch loudly on a snack she grabbed from the kitchen. It was annoying, but wasn't a big deal. When she realized I wasn't going to respond, she stood up and stood directly in front of me. "Can you move? I can't see the TV."
I don't want you to watch.
"Can you just move?"
You're not the boss. It's my house, not yours.
That may be the case, but you're being rude. Entitled Kid starts yelling.
You can't tell me what to do.
At this point, I'm not going to argue with an 8-year-old and just move to another spot to watch TV. Once again, she moves in front of me and gets in my face. She sticks out her tongue, showing all the chewed up food in her mouth. "Entitled Kid, get out of my face before I get your mom." Now, I'm the calmest person you could ever meet, but I have to admit that I lost it in the next few moments. She had the literal nerve to spit in my face. My first reaction was to hit her. Not hard enough to actually hurt her, but just enough to make her learn her lesson. Looking back now, I do feel bad, but at that moment, I just saw red. Entitled Kid has a look of shock on her face before she started to cry. She got up from the floor. She was standing over me when she spit, so when I hit her, she fell and ran to her mom. In storms Miss C.
What did you do to Entitled Kid?
She spit in my face, and I hit her.
Why would you do that? She's a child.
And if she has the nerve to spit in someone's face, she should be able to take the consequences.
She probably didn't even spit on you. You just wanted to hit her. All you foster kids are the same, full of violence and can't be grateful for being in someone else's home.
I'm boiling mad, because from the moment we stepped foot in her home, she mentally and emotionally abused us. I want to call my caseworker. At this point, Miss C shut up, and I knew why. If I called my caseworker and reported her, we would be removed from her home, and that meant no more fat checks, especially since my sister was considered disabled, mainly because of what Miss C did to her, and possibly getting her license to foster children revoked. For the rest of that week and the next, she tried to suck up to me, but when it came time for me to speak to my caseworker, I sung like a canary. And when my caseworker made note of it but didn't do anything, I made sure to put it on the long list of transgressions towards Miss C for when I went to court. Not very satisfying, but this was only one part of many stories about Miss C and my birth family, if you guys would like to hear about it. Her house was heck, but every bunch has a bad apple, and I just chalked this up as a bad experience. Thanks for listening. And our final story of the day. A Karen tries to make me give her kids singing lessons. Cast. We've got me. We've got the entitled mom. We've got the mean kid, the nice teacher, and the helpful kid. A little backstory. I was 10 when this happened, and mean kid was saying she was my friend, but she was lying. One day, smack in the middle of the year, about 4 months prior to the Karen encounter, I was singing Zombie with mean kid, who wasn't as good as she was bragging about. She claimed she was better than Ariana Grande and Beyoncé combined. She accused me of trying to be better than her because I'm jealous of her talent and perfection. She ignored for a week. On to the story. We were on our final field trip of the year, and I was put in helpful kid and mean kid's group. I forgot about the incident 4 months prior, and I improved on my singing, and don't call me conceited, please, but I feel like I am a pretty good singer. Definitely no Ariana Grande, but at least better than Mean Kid. Me and Mean Kid were back at it again, singing perfect this time, which my voice was better suited for, and this ticked Mean Kid off. Note, I was shy, antisocial, and sensitive, and still am. Mean Kid.
Why are you always trying to be better than me? You are a terrible friend and a horrible singer.
What? Did I do something to upset you? Her remark kind of caught me off guard.
Yes, you did. You took singing lessons because you were jealous of my talent at singing.
Mean Kid, I swear that isn't the case. I would never purposely upset you. I don't take singing lessons. I just practice. I'm sort of...
You're a liar. You only try and sing better than me because you're jealous I am prettier and better at singing and more talented than you.
So at this point, I was fighting back tears because I don't handle being yelled at very well, and I was a little embarrassed because everyone was looking at me. While Mean Kid strutted over to her mom, I ran over to Nice Teacher, who is our teacher for class and nearby with her group. Teacher, is it too late to be in your group? Why? Did something happen? Well, Mean Kid is mad at me. I can't change your group, but I can stay close by if anything happens. I nodded and walked back to my group. Enter Karen.
Hello, are you OP?
Yeah, I am.
My precious Mean Kid is telling me that you won't tell her you're singing coach and you are bullying her.
I laughed nervously. Miss, I don't have a singing coach.
You lying, disrespectful girl. My poor Mean Kid is crying because of you. I demand you tell me your singing coach.
I really don't have a singing coach.
Fine. Then teach my daughter and be her singing coach. I want her to be better than you.
I inched closer to Nice Teacher to tell her something was wrong.
Do not walk away from me, young lady. Do you know who I am?
Teacher. I completely ignored Karen. What seems to be the problem?
This child is making my poor Mean Kid cry by making fun of her and calling her names.
She signaled Mean Kid to come over.
She called me ugly, talentless, and bad at singing.
I'll spare you the unimportant details, because it was just a bunch of who did what jibba jabba. I won the argument, and Mean Kid and Karen were furious. I switched groups with Helpful Kid, who was nice enough to volunteer. Later, we were going to the buses, and there are these concrete stairs we have to go down, and I kid you not, Karen, not Mean Kid, but Karen, stuck her foot out, and if it weren't for Helpful Kid pulling me out of the way, I could have broken some bones. Karen was banned from ever chaperoning and was kicked off PSA, a school parent program. Mean Kid was suspended for 3 days and ISS for a week. What I got was a nice friend and a nice teacher. Karma is the best. By the way, I give full permission to use this story, if that ever happens.
Support this channel on Patreon, or I'm going to make you teach my daughter how to sing.
And congrats to our re-generals of the day, Memer Alo, Jack Stevens, Corsi Husky, and Frederick Stenbro. That's all for now, but don't be blue. I'll be back soon with more stories for you. Remember to listen to Mr. Reddit every night, so your dreams will be wonderful like you are and bright.